Hey, I'm back. I'm back. So, I'm playing Kingdoms. I've played this a bunch in the last couple of days. I think this is a pretty good game. You should check it out. It's super cheap on Steam right now, and I don't know why. I've looked, the development's still in progress. There was just an update just the other day. It's a little glitchy, but not too glitchy. So you should check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a bit like Medieval Dynasty or Ark. We're gonna start a new game. I'm super familiar with this now, but you know, you try not to repeat World's mistakes. I played this on Wednesday as well, but I didn't really get into it because I didn't really understand it very well. I've definitely gotten a bit better on it now. We're gonna increase the day slider a little bit here. I haven't done this with third-party sound on it, and I wonder if I'm dragging a little bit because of that. Having played this for several hours, and this is a lot like games like Ark, this slider is needed. Let's give this a try. Let's go 350%. That sounds about right. It's totally arbitrary. And let's increase this as well, and this too. Right. Okay. Gonna hit next. We want them every 24 hours, otherwise there's too many too fast. And we're gonna leave that. We're gonna call ourselves the big one. Because that's accurate. We're of course a child. That sounds about right. Right, we'll leave those. That's as close to skin color as they're gonna get from me. It's weird to have a chest size slider for a man. Let's randomize my face a bit. Okay, well, I turned into Idris Elba there. Okay, that looks like it randomized itself right back to the beginning one. Hey, King Horse, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you. I was away for a while, so it's good to see you back. I got to get these and these. Alright, so these three are essential. It's weird that you have to choose them, but if you don't start with them, you really can't get into the game until you've done a million tiny little fetch quests where you go get like 10 logs. I've been streaming all week, His Majesty King Horse, but I was away because I had a serious medical issue where I was in the hospital and everything. That's no need to go into it because I have recovered from it now. I'm going back a couple weeks from now for some scheduled follow-up. Yeah, you know what? This a pretzel is clearly causing CPU consumption problems. Like, cause it's you can see the frames dropping here. Let me fix that. Let's see. Are we still dropping frames in the same way? I don't think we are. Yeah. Isn't that weird? It happens with RimWorld, too. Let's see. Settings, sound. King Horse wakes up early for work. Yeah. Yeah. No worries. Don't worry about that. I was just letting you know that I have... today's not my first day. I just did my little talk show. It's all 10 minutes long. Now I'm playing this game. It's super cool. It's $6 on Steam. I don't see it ever having multiplayer because of how wonky it is. But it reminds me a little bit of Ark with NPCs instead of dinosaurs. And it's also a bit like that also alpha game Medieval Dynasty, which that was an attempt to mock the dialogue of that game. But of course this is $6 and Medieval Dynasty is I believe a $30 title. This is a strange little game. It also has a bit of Mount and Blade to it, as you can tell from the kind of Unity jankiness. But I've been playing it over the last couple of days. It's not the most exciting thing ever, but the fundamental gameplay is resource gathering and then town building. And you plop down these pre-built structure or pre-designed structures like houses and shops, and you have to unlock various skills along the way. And you have this unnecessarily long ship intro sequence here. Like, literally, I'm just waiting to get to the dock so it can tell me I'm here later. You make friends with the people in the town, and then you kind of build little kingdoms up. So you can conquer neighboring towns. There are resources on the map that you can like occupy. There's, you know, first-person hack and slash kind of like I said, kind of Mountain Blade wonk gameplay there. But it's got a bit of charm to it. So I've just arrived on the island of Twitchonia with these 20 other settlers. There's a fucking bear, which is just gonna kill all of us. You can see right now that bear is killing all of us. Let me try to help. I've never seen a bear show up this quickly. We're probably fucked. Oh god. I'm worried about hitting the person. Oh god. oh god. So, I would consider this a bug. If you can't survive the ship landing, it's a bit of a bug. It does look like a little like a Caribbean Buccaneer ship. Oh my god, the autosave is the very beginning of the intro. Hopefully it won't spawn a bear on the beach this time around. Bears are absolutely deadly. In my experience, wolves are deadly as well. There is a bit of pirate life to this. There's nothing in this ship as far as people are concerned, except somehow there's 20 people in it. I'm not sure what the purpose of this ship voyage is, other than maybe just like loading up the assets on the map. Like maybe it's like placing trees and stuff. This map, and I don't know if it's ever coming, but this map is definitely not random in overall shape, but the resources and dots on it are. Yeah, you know, you're right though. I can't bring up the sword now, but that single round pommel on the end of the sword is early medieval, and this ship is obviously something like, you know, Renaissance. Like, I mean, with all this rigging and 3, 4, 5, it's like 6, 8 sails maybe max. I don't know. It's a little anachronistic. I don't think that's a problem though, because it takes place in an imaginary world where it doesn't have to be thematically consistent. This appears to be cannonballs, but they also appear to have fuses in them, which doesn't make much sense, does it? So hopefully we won't have a repeat of the bear experience. Getting mauled by a bear on the beach is like some sort of horrifying nightmare. Having spawned several times in this game, that hasn't happened to me yet, and like I said, I actually consider that a bug. They do look like comic bombs. They look like the bombs from Super Bomberman as well, if you remember that game. It's quite old, obviously. I really think that long sea voyage is just a load screen. Maybe while it's like figuring out what colonists to spawn or what bears to spawn on the beach. One of the best things, the bear is back. The bear is back. I mean, I'm going to run away from the bear, but that means the population of the island is not going to grow as quickly. All right, so you go through this like initial friendship dialogue with these people, and I could take bigger quests from them right now, but instead I'm just going to introduce myself and not get eaten by the bear. With as many who are accessible without becoming bear bait. It's killed a man. There's 19 of us left now. The initial settlers are facing the dangers of nature. It's some of them appear to have spawned with bows, because I just saw an arrow fly overhead. This woman has a very large forehead. So all these people are like fellow colonists, and one thing I've noticed so far is that and they're gonna go out and found new towns and stores and farms and bandit camps. They're gonna go like make a living world. This guy's walking right through a rock, which is an interesting thing for him to do. What's up, dude? All right, now I've turned up the acquisition of stats, and that's super important, because otherwise you spend all day. You spend like 3 hours of the game gathering resources. My only real question is, have I actually turned turn it up high enough. Because like I said, there's like several hours of resource gathering if you really want to like get into it and start building a big town right away. The other thing I noticed about this game is that you really want to get, if you're going to build a town, as opposed to inhabit a town, because you can easily just join someone else's kingdom and work your way up in the kingdom. If you're going to build a town, you need to get the marker for the town down pretty quickly, or the AI will take all the good spots. Is that bear still mauling people? It looks like it's gone. I don't see it dead on the beach. They drop corpses. 20 men with swords, they should be of the kit. You know, maybe they just turn the cannon around. And they should, you know, be able to shoot the bear with a cannon. Oh no. This is a bug I've actually reported. Logs rolling underneath people and lifting them up off the ground. It's a very interesting physics model. See that? I'm getting lifted up in the air by the log, and then it's passing underneath me. All right, we'll do one more tree here real quick. The resource gathering, there's different skill levels that, and you can choose this before you start a game, can be achieved by gathering. Other skill levels are only achieved by, or you can select the option that, you know, you have to get taught all skills. So I left the option on that you basically build skills by doing stuff, because I think it'd be really weird if you didn't have it that way. And now that's like kind of the Oblivion model, you know, like by running you build up endurance. Is that bear out there? One of the weird little attributes to this game is that if you this is a pick, and if you mean the axe I was just using, that's clearly a superior tree clearing instrument. I don't know what you're talking about. I want to build a little town, and because this map is the same every time, I got a good idea where I want to build that little town. I'm gonna go build it on the shore. It looked pretty long to me. I mean, I was wielding it immediately next to a tree as well. Let's see. Look, it's plenty long. What isn't long though is I'm choked up too high on it. It's I'm way too close. So you got a stone gathering skill that unlocks buildings, including like the blacksmith and stuff like that. And then you've got a wood gathering skill, which like unlocks carpentry and stuff. Then there's a hunting skill and an archery skill, and those are separate things. I might not have met these people because they were on the other side of the bear. No, I met Huldir there and Halevgar there. It's just a lovely name. And then there's a herb gathering skill, and there's all sorts of little plants hiding in the woods, from potatoes to medicinal herbs. And let's see what other. There's a trade skill, so you can sell stuff. You can, if you raise your carpenter skill high enough, like His Majesty King Horus suggests, you can quickly become Jesus. It's a great opportunity. So I think I'm gonna build my town, assuming there are no bears down there, down on this little flat bit of land on the beach. There's plenty of other flat bits of land that I've explored this map, and they're neat. But I want to build one down here. This probably is not a good place to build a well, which is the marker. But hey, seawater is delicious and makes you crazy. I'm gonna go down there and throw down a well. Once we throw down a well, we've like set up a town marker. But it won't automatically build any buildings for us or anything. We still have to build buildings and gather resources, which is the early phase of this game. Is definitely just like, you know, going out into the woods and chopping down 100 trees. Let's see. We get, you know, somewhat near the middle of this flat beachy part, which I'm sure never floods and never has problems with high water. I'm actually certain of that, because that would be a very sophisticated mechanic to put in game. I'm gonna put this well here. Let's turn it a little bit. One of the things I definitely don't like, we're gonna call it Horsonia. You can actually Horsonia. You can actually domesticate horses. I'm gonna choose this option that says that only the leader can build houses. If you let the AI do it, they do it all willy-nilly, and that makes my sense of order go crazy. So look, I need to build up some skills, so I need to just gather some junk here. Thankfully, I've turned up the experience gain slider, and you can see I'm really cranking through the digger points. You need a lot of stone and a lot of wood to really start building buildings. But more importantly, gathering these early resources unlock your access to other buildings. You can make a well wherever you want because the water table from the ocean isn't a problem, and sand never just like falls into the well or anything. It's, you know, the rules of nature in Twitchonia here, the capital of which is Horsonia, a port town, as you can see, named after the local fauna, is wells. First of all, you can drink seawater. Now, there is no actual drinking mechanic. There is an eating mechanic, but you don't really do much except press on the item to consume. So I'm not going for these larger rocks yet because you actually have to hit this first level of digger before you can do so. I'm gonna keep cranking away and trying to get these initial resources. Seawater is delicious and salty. It's like Gatorade. Alright, let's go. It's getting dark. See, I can't hit a 5 yet. A 5 or larger rock is inaccessible for some reason. I guess you gotta put a skill cap somewhere. I'm gonna go up here on this bluff and throw down a tent. So, kind of like a Minecraft bed, you can skip the night. As you can see, this is not exactly typical of the buildings of the game, but it's not dissimilar to it either. Let's try to skip some of this night. We don't want to sleep 23 hours. Let's sleep 8. A ship came overnight, you can see there, and dropped off some new settlers. Let's switch over to the axe here. And my axe, you can see it's long enough. It's just being held with one hand in the middle of the shaft. But it's fine. One hand in the middle of the shaft is the way I tell my... Oh, wait. I'm just going to leave that right there. Right there and not bring it up again. This is, the log never stops sometimes. And I don't know what's up with that as far as the physics are concerned. You can see on my little bar at the top that there's some sort of thing 210 meters away from here. What is it? I don't know. It's either a ruin... which have these little caves that you seem to run through. Okay. See, the log actually bounced off of me, which is interesting. Or it could be an iron bank, which is literally just like a pile of iron on the map. So far, I think those are the only two organic map objects, though I won't claim complete knowledge of the game, though I have played a bunch of it. So one of the other things is there's this herbalism skill, and I'm looking real hard. It is kind of hard to pick out plants here, but see right there, there's a berry plant. Because there's so much other undergrowth. But oh yeah, here's an azalea. Can see, and there's that gardener skill. That's the first level of that skill as well. So I want to quickly get as quickly as possible up a couple levels of tree cutting here, which means exciting wood chopping. I'm pretty sure you can't boil water out, but what you can do, right, is if you heat the water and use like a sloped surface, right? So if you put a big container of water, like in a big steel pot, and you put a sloped surface over top of that, the water vapor will come up and condense on that slope surface, and the salt won't come with it. And then that water will roll down that inclined plane and into another container, and that water will essentially be distilled. And you can then drink clear, unsalted water from the sea that way. I base that knowledge solely on the game Raft, so don't use that to depend on your life. That's video game survival knowledge, much like video game historical kingdom or geopolitical knowledge. Okay, I'm almost to chopper 1, which is like I said, unlocks a couple new buildings. But you really got to grind these resources as best as you can early on, and if you leave them on the default settings, maybe load up a couple episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something, and watch that for 2 or 3 hours while you just chop away. You can see I actually reassigned the mouse 1 button to the R key on my keyboard. Yeah, you capture the vapor on the surface above the boiling pot of water. The water condensates on the inclined surface, and then that funnels into whatever your storage container is. That's how you're purifying water with fire there. Having not done it in real life and only done it in a video game, that's going to be the limit of my technical knowledge about that model. I'm pretty sure that water from the ocean is done with like a solar, like at a plant level, is done with like a solar distillation method. That might not exactly be quite like that, but it's not dissimilar, right? You have to get the salt out some way, and that's going to mean evaporating the water from the salt, right? Not removing the salt from the water, going the other way around. You can see now that I perked up, it's 2 logs are dropping per tree, so I'm getting twice as many wooden logs, and oh god, damn it, that's it's an interesting task running down all these logs. Getting twice as many logs per tree, and I guess that means twice as much experience too. His Majesty King Horse is validating my raft knowledge as a valid survival method, which is good, because in case I ever need to do that, or if you ever need to refer to an instructional video, this will now serve as Water Distillation 101. In case you need to drink water from the beach, you're probably better off moving inland and finding a stream. But boiling water is a great way to get the germs out too, right? Maybe not the all the microorganisms, but definitely a lot of the bacteria and stuff. You'll probably have solids in there too, and if the water was unclean in the first place, like if it was brackish, you might keep them. There might be some heavy metals or something, who knows. Plus, if it's the post-apocalyptic future, which I think is probably the most likely scenario for the random person distilling water, it's probably all irradiated and shit anyways. I think I'd rather drink the spring water too, but I've got a survival kit here in my house. It's a 5-gallon bucket that I've stuffed full of useful items and sealed the top on, so it's like waterproof and stuff. It's got, among other things, it has a life straw, which maybe you've heard of, which is kind of like a camping survival thing where you just stick it in the water and it filters out quite a bit of the nasty stuff that might be in water you find on your camping trip. And then I've also got tablets for cleaning larger amounts of water. So I've got my little emergency survival plan that includes grabbing a couple 5-gallon jugs and throwing them in a backpack, and then grabbing my survival kit, which includes other things like there's a hatchet in it, for example, and a tarp, so I can make a rain fly or a tent out of it. There's about 3 days of emergency boat rations, some fire making tools. What else is in my emergency kit? Oh, a small first aid kit. A few things basically in case there's a flood where I live, which is probably the biggest danger. A flood or well, frankly, a blizzard, because we actually have like 8 inches of snow on the ground. I am cutting a lot of trees right now, and if I had the experience and resource gathering sliders down to defaults, I would be cutting trees for hours. And that's, I highly recommend watching people stream or catching a few episodes of your favorite television show or something while you play this game. Just like the game Ark or a similar early resource gathering games, you've really got to grind your way through the beginning resource collection here. Now, you probably don't have to do this in the most boring way ever like I am, but I'm interested in the town building mechanics right now because I've spent about 15 hours in the game doing the little idiot quest mechanics where they're like, please fetch me 10 wood, and I'm not doing that again. So I got a big plan in my mind for a little town, and that's gonna require me to have a bunch of wood. But thankfully I can just babble my way through the wood collection, just like I would be if I weren't streaming right now. Speaking of not streaming right now, there was a very funny tweet yesterday from a guy who I guess is actually a creative lead at a game studio that's owned by Google. However, his job title listed on Twitter made it seem like he was actually the you can tame horses. Made it seem like he was actually the lead dev of some kind at Stadia. Stadia, the Google. I can't find the log. Sometimes you lose the log on the grass. That's why you should keep your grass trimmed. There's another log in here somewhere. There it is. It made it look like he was like the creative league at Stadia, and he basically his hot take was that streamers should pay for licenses, broadcasting licenses for the games they play, which is funny because it's something only someone under the age of 30 would say, because we went through that same sort of dialogue back in about 2010 or so. And all the game devs and game publishers, except for maybe Nintendo, were like, "Yeah, no, you can do it for free because it's really good for me. It's really good for it's really good for us." Can you imagine a game like Minecraft without all the exposure gotten by YouTubers? It would be nothing. You would have never heard about it before because it's a kind of wonky game made by a kind of wonky guy, and you would have never heard of it. But how about something like Among Us, which is the game I could think of that is most recently really benefited from kind of new media, from access to Twitch and YouTube. And Among Us went from like an obscure title that had been out for 2 years that nobody had ever heard of to a massive popular trend overnight. Mainly because a few big streamers latched onto it, right? I don't know who might be credited with kind of exposing Among Us. I do know one thing though, is that the fact that it languished in obscurity for 2 years, I've perked up with wood, which is a good thing, because now we can grind on stones, if you know what I'm saying. Now, unfortunately, we're restricted to stones smaller than 5 for this early period, which means a bunch of wandering around, making it harder to grind those stones. Oh, did you see that? I ended up like sprinting as I jumped off that rock. Yeah, so that was a really weird hot take from that Google creative. I find it very funny because it's such an antiquated idea, and YouTube and Twitch streamers have really created like a real symbiotic marketing relationship that's frankly a little too close at times with game developers and game publishers. Like, there's people out there who are getting paid a lot of money to promote a lot of garbage, which I understand. I understand taking money to promote games, don't get me wrong. But which isn't necessarily great for the average gamer to pick through. But anyways, I mean, whole marketing budgets now are dedicated to paying streamers to play games. Did you guys see that? This is a while back now. I guess a month or two ago. One game publisher, I'm not even sure who it was. Maybe it was Ubi. Was paying people to watch big streamers to watch their conference stream. You know, basically their game show. Hey guys, we're releasing this title, promotional conference stream, and that was probably the lamest use of Twitch or YouTube I've ever seen. Watching someone to watch, like, paying someone to watch, you know, pre-recorded demo advertisement marketing material is such a weird thing. And there were some really lame streams of it. You can see our well in the distance there. Now, I don't think anyone's joined us yet. I wouldn't. There's no place to live. And all there is like seawater to drink. We don't even have one of those distillers. I don't have to be doing what I'm doing, like grinding resources like this, but I'm going a particular way here. And as soon as I break this this first level of digger, I'll put down a building or two. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. He's new, I think. Yeah, what's up? My name is The Big One. Nice to meet you. See, I can ask him, can he teach me anything? He can teach me digger, but I don't really have any money to speak of, so I do have a little bit, but I'm not just gonna, you know... excuse me, sir? Okay, back to breaking rocks. I'm almost there anyways. Once you get through the first level of digger, you can... whoa! You cannot take damage from animals running through you, which I find is very interesting, because if you piss off a bison, a buffalo, they tend to charge right at you. They do have some goofy Middle-earth names, and the only thing I can attribute that to is maybe the developer is from like Finland or something. They all have those names. They haven't even, like... If I were a developer and I were like, oh, I need a list of names for my random NPCs, I will go to a website, maybe in English, and type top 100 baby names or something like that. Right? And that would be my list. All right, I can now actually harvest from the larger ones, which is good. So you can see there's a bison there. If I like attack that bison, it's just gonna run around. It's not gonna try to charge me and kill me, which I feel like isn't that the way that bison work? All right, so I've unlocked a few buildings. You can see these are like the wood ones, and these are the wood stone ones, and these are the stone ones. What else have I unlocked so far? I've unlocked the carpenter building here, the woodworker's house, but not the stoneworker's one. That's another level up. And I've unlocked the city hall right here, and we're gonna put this down. Let's see. I think it's pretty big, obviously. It's actually a little more advanced, and I won't be able to build it all yet. So I'm gonna put it right there. So I want to get rid of these stones. I think map objects like that remove resources, but I've avoided putting them over them, mainly because you need those resources anyway, so you might as well sit here and grind them out of the way. You might as well, you know, actually take the resources. I do have quite a bit already, but I'm also going to need the next levels of carpenter and stoneworker as well to unlock the buildings that let me build even larger buildings. Here, I think that's enough room. And we want to try to make some logical sense out of it as well, right? So let's see. We're gonna put it like right there. So there's two buildings that are clearly intended to be like early type buildings. One of them is here, the city hall. There we go. That's the city hall. And then the other one is this one here. It is the common house, and this is like a bunk house. Right. So I've kind of put myself in a corner here. Now, if I bang on this, the resources in my inventory will automatically fill these these needs, the ones that I have. So as you can see, like I'm putting wooden logs into the construction. This is much faster than default as well. If you leave it on default, a building like this will take like 10 minutes of pressing a button. So if you got a macro on your keyboard, you might want to use it. You can see I skipped planks because I don't actually have any planks in my inventory, but I can actually make planks just in my crafting box. And that like elapses time in the game. It's actually a kind of strange mechanic. I'll show you in just a second. What I can't do yet is I can't build any treated stone, so I won't be able to complete this building until I go up another level of stoneworking. Because you need a building to make treated stone, which I think is a little weird. So I need to craft those planks, right? And so I just hit craft. I'm gonna craft 30 of them for now. That's 150 planks, and it'll take 150 minutes, and it'll advance the clock in the game that long. I've leveled up. It's also pitch black. I don't actually... I'm probably gonna starve. I got a couple berries. I ate a flower. So where did I put my tent? This is not up there. I just thank God for lightning, I guess. See, now there's plenty of fresh water on the beach. You see all those people just show up? Now, some of those people may have decided to live in this town, and they're all getting all chunky and laggy. That's interesting, isn't it? Aha, you can see down there in the lower right, you can see another town has been built somewhere. And that really means just somebody put down a single well. But okay, let's sleep in my tent. And another ship has landed. So all those people, hey, what's up? This person apparently shared my tent, if you know what I'm saying. She wants a berry. Okay, I'll get you one berry. About your berry, I actually, did I eat it? I'm sorry, I ate the berry. I'm gonna have to get you a berry. Let's see. This used to be a forest. There might be some berries here. I don't want to leave that berry quest outstanding, you know, because I'll have to find that person later, and she might migrate across the entire map. Do you see any berries a bit? Hello, berry? Hello, sir. I'll say hello to you as well. Oh, I've already spoken to you. Hello, Vigor. So I think because I put up part of the city hall, I think I probably have a few town residents so far. But until you have the city hall going, you can't actually see who those residents are. Now, this is dangerous going into the woods like this. There could be a bear anywhere. Here we go. Here's a berry bush. It's a little hard to spot these various plants and stuff, but if you look around, there should be some food plants about. And there's things like onions and potatoes and cucumbers and wheat just kind of growing wild, which is probably not particularly historically accurate, but I would like some of them because I could eat. I don't see any. They tend to be darker green than the surrounding plants. I'm also pretty wary that I don't get eaten by a bear. It's interesting when you get eaten by an animal in this game, you have to go back to a save. You don't just like respawn at camp. You have to go back to a save, and you lose your progress and stuff, and that is unfortunate. You can save at any time. There's a save button. But I feel like that's unexpected. I'd really prefer to like go back to the last bed I spawned on, having lost all my gear, like classic kind of Minecraft or Ark style. I'm looking for a more advanced food plant than this berry. Oh shit. Okay, it's just a deer. Okay. Whew. Oh god. Did you see that? It was like a bunny rabbit or something ran through that rock and right by my feet. You can kill bunnies. You can kill all the animals and eat them. And of course, killing them levels up your butcher and your hunting stat. your archer stat, or if you use a sword, I suppose. Their AI is pretty dumb, but that's a relief because they are pretty quick. And unfortunately, exhaustion hunting is not working. Someone from Denmark is watching you now. Oh, that's lovely. I mean, I stream at a time, His Majesty. You know, you catch me from the States, but I stream at a time of day that I think is probably a little more friendly to Europeans, right? Because in Britain, for example, it's what, about 2 o'clock right now? Is that about right? So maybe you know, 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Maybe you got off early. Maybe you're on the dole. You're sitting around the house. Maybe you catch me on the stream. I stream at this time because you know, it's compatible with my life right now. So like I have shit to do later. My wife's at work, so this is a good time for me to stream. The music cut out in a foreboding way. I have not found any food plants yet, and I'm a little disappointed because I could use some. All your co-workers are not American. Oh, okay. Yeah, you see, I'm 44 of 100 aha, peppers. Cayenne pepper. These food plants that you pick up wild, as you build up your herbling, which you can see I'm doing the gardener skill, which is like level 1 of the kind of plant skill. As you build up that skill, you can turn plants into seeds, and you can build a farm, and you can build farm fields, and you can build a mill where you turn plants into flour. Which reminds me, where is Brocker? Here she is. She's 290 meters away. I like this quest location system. I'm surprised it's so robust. Look, wheat. You can just eat raw wheat, which feels a little weird, but I'm not complaining. So yeah, you can make flour, and then there's a bakery. You can make bread. And in the higher level houses, you can bake bread in those houses as well. The only food thing that I feel is like obviously missing from the game at this point is there's no fishing. And I feel like that really needs to be found. But there also appears to be no fresh water bodies. If I hit M here, you can see a little bit of the map. The map, I would say, needs a little work. I just whistled for my horse, and I didn't know that was a thing. You can see where I am. You can't see the boat landing, which is down there a little bit. Now, I don't know where it is yet. There are a couple settlements yet, and I have not found them. They'll show up when you get close to them. Let me see where Brocker is. It looks like she might be just kind of crouched in the grass over here somewhere, probably scrabbling around for roots or nuts, if you know what I'm saying. Roots or nuts, Brocker? Oh, hello, Holder. So I think Holder, for example, and maybe some of these other folks might have joined my town because they're hanging around. And if they don't hang around, if they haven't joined your town, rather, they tend to move on to nearby villages. Where are you? She's like pooping in the grass. Hey, how you doing? I got you that berry you asked for me. Great. What do you teach? She teaches blacksmithing. Maybe later. If you do their little quest, and you'll notice she gave me like 10 gold or something, or 50 gold or something. If you do their little quest, it will take you forever to make any money. However, if you build and sell houses to them, you'll be raking in cash. They have like a hidden reserve of cash for buying buildings that really lets you build up the cash pretty quickly. I think maybe the economy needs a bit of balance. I'm a little wary of this horse, even though I'm pretty sure it can't hurt me. I think the economy might need a little bit of balancing. Kind of along the same way that the resource gathering does, but because there are sliders for both of those things, there's a slider for like how much shop items cost and stuff like that. I guess you can you can explain away any sort of unbalanced economy by letting you customize it. Yeah. All right. I keep banging away on these rocks. So there was a presidential debate last night. I can't say I watched more than 5 minutes of it. I don't really want to talk about it, but it is kind of in the news. I don't, without getting particularly aligned politically, I find it difficult to believe that there are people being persuaded by debates. Like, I find it hard to believe that there are undecided people out there being like, I'm going to watch the debate and decide who I want to vote for. Maybe there are people who aren't politically oriented at all, who don't really have a firm position on it. But it feels like an antiquated notion to me. And maybe that speaks to the kind of like hyper-partisan nature of American society now. I'm not sure. But I just find it hard to believe that there are people who go turn on the debate to see, to judge the value of the ideas of the debate. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there are people doing that. Maybe there are. I don't know anyone personally who is politically neutral in any way. Like, everybody I know knew who they were going to vote for well before this election, which is coming up in a couple weeks. They all knew without question. Maybe they didn't know all their local people and all their like municipal or statewide races, but even then, I'm not so sure about that. Like I said, maybe that speaks to the kind of more partisan nature of American society now, or maybe when I was a kid, that never actually happened, and it's kind of like faux nostalgia. This is a bulletin board that lets you do some basic management of citizens. I don't like, this seems like it should be right in front of the city hall, right? So can I squeeze it in like here somewhere? There's a slider for how close buildings can be together. You may have seen me adjust it. I put it down to like negative. Yep. So we can see now, are there people who join us? There are 12 settlers. There are 3 houses, but I believe that means the well, this sign, and the incomplete city hall. And the 2 of them are finished, right? Because they didn't actually take any construction. Everybody's very happy, which seems weird. And I can get into the basic settlement management there. I need to keep doing the mining because I need more stone skill so I can make those untreated stones, or rather treated stones, well, which will actually let me complete this building. So I got to get that done. So I'm going to keep grinding away. Thankfully, I got that slider up and I'm actually moving very quickly. Like I said, if you have this on the default, I'll be doing this for like 2 hours. Instead of, a couple more minutes. Especially when you get on these big rocks. Like, you just kind of hold the button there. Delicious coffee favorite beverage. I remapped it over to my left hand too, so I don't even have to hold the mouse. I can alternate fingers. In case you need a tendon rest. I'm totally grinding away the levels. Let me use my pinky. Wild times here on the Eat the Big One First channel as I get resources. It's worth it though. I'll have an intense amount of stone. And I'll be able to put down some buildings. Alright. Keep getting these big rocks. I'm halfway to the next level of mine work. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.